Monday. Red Polly.
Dusty.
Blue poncho.
Tupac.
Street.
Hey, Wilson Hoosier. Hey, Elvis.
Drake.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Health Matters. Well, this is it. It's Super Bowl week. What we've all been waiting for. And we got the 49ers and the Chiefs. Somewhat predictable, but maybe not. Coming to you from Vail, Colorado. Beautiful day out. Lots of snow over the weekend. It's just going to signify a great Super Bowl week in Vegas. You're fans of the 49ers or Chiefs. Have a great time if you're in Vegas. Enjoy it. It's a great week. And I know Vegas is going to put on a spectacular show for Super Bowl fans. Well, we got a lot here at the Predictors, a lot on health and Health Matters. And guess what? These two teams stepped up with their health at the end, and it matters. Right, Brandon? Take it away. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot of info coming your way today for the Super Bowl. But before we get there, I wanted to just chat about the Pro Bowl a little bit. You know, they had that big injury, Myles Garrett with a dislocated toe in the skills game. What are you thinking, Tyler? How's that going to go into the offseason?
Well, I saw that the x-rays were negative for him, so that's obviously good news. So now it's just going to come down to rehab and see what they have to do with him. He has the whole offseason. I don't think this is going to affect him next year as long as he does what he's supposed to do, which I know he will with their medical staff. So just kind of a bummer for him. You know, you go into the offseason, think you're going to get some rest, get to enjoy, just kind of get the body right.
Yeah, you want to
Now
go to the beach, play some golf, chill out, right? You're going to go down to
definitely. Man, the Pro Bowl format, I don't know how I feel about it. The Mannings, this is year 2. Starting to get a little fatigue with them. They're everywhere on TV, guys. What are you thinking? Do we need to get rid of the Mannings for one event?
Omaha Productions, they're all over it. I mean, I don't know. They do a good job. You know, they know the game inside the game. There might be a little bit of fatigue, Brandon. I don't know. It's like mix it up a little bit. There's a lot of skills competitions. They can bring a lot of different people in to help them out.
Definitely. Boston Ryan, give us your thoughts on the format. What are you thinking of that high-scoring flag football fiasco?
I mean, there's definitely things that can be improved with it. I mean, it's the Pro Bowl at the end of the day, so the players don't want to get hurt. They just want to showcase what the NFL has. I mean, I would love seeing Bill Belichick come in as a media personality, supplement the Manning brothers. I would love to see that. Or Tom Brady, you know, I mean,
he'd sort of just tell it like it is. Bill would just be like, okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah, hit the 5 next time on the throw. You got to be better. We got to do better. Do your job. on.
Tyler, what's your top event of the weekend? What are you thinking?
Well, first of all, on the format side of it, guys, you know, I know people are talking about, hey, you know, there's Manning fatigue and, hey, I don't know how I feel about the flag football. But let's not forget that just 2 years ago, we were watching a game where nobody wanted to hit each other. Nobody wanted to do anything. And it was just as high scoring. And it was very boring football game to watch. So personally, on the skills challenge stuff, I actually like the skills challenge. I like watching them do some of that type of stuff, see how they are. So I think that's better than what we had, if I'm being honest.
Definitely. I saw some things where we get some charity involvement, pay a little bit more for winning some skills and donating some charity stuff in there. That's what the NBA is doing a little bit now too. So I think
they should do some pros versus Joes type stuff on there. You know, bring in some average people and have them go up against it.
That'd be awesome. Bring some high school kids in, some college players. Maybe they could show off a little bit on, you know, pre-combine. The NFL Combine's coming up in a few weeks. You know, that's, you know, for people who don't know the Combine, you know, you hear about it all the time, but it's about 5-6 days in Indianapolis. The medical staff, we were there about 5 days or so, middle of February. It's usually about 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. Timing varies, but yeah, it's an incredible event to be able to, you know, do a lot of screening on these players, from interviews to health to everything. So it could be interesting. Maybe they can fold some of that stuff in, and I don't know. It's definitely, I like being able to turn it on and have a different events, seeing something else, and it's kind of spread out through the weekend. Definitely was interesting.
Yeah. So that's good. So the Pro Bowl, you know, we'll see how it does next year. I'm sure there'll be some changes. Another thing in the news, guys, if you've been following the NFL, they released a report about injuries, which the Predictors, we're going to put out some data on all this stuff as well. But they said that the concussions were up this year, 219 versus 213 last year. So they haven't really helped head injuries, even though it's been a, you know, emphasis on them as well. And there was 700 fewer missed games, which is a good thing, I guess you could say. We got to really dig into the data, guys. What are you thinking on this new report that just came out?
Yeah, the concussions are probably statistically about the same, 213 versus 219. Again, it's probably pretty stable. You have to go back when concussions were not detected as well. You didn't have the on-the-field spotter. You didn't have the players pointing them out. You didn't have the referee stopping the game. If you look at the head ref, they've got all these communication boxes on their belt, and they add some all the time. I don't know, about 4 or 5 now, and one of them is being able to buzz down from the booth if there's anything concerning. So NFL's doing a much better job. I congratulate them for picking these up better, but 700 fewer missed games, that could be statistically different. I don't know, we'll see. But what I can tell you, if you look at our stuff on the predictors, is we had a lot of marquee players with missed games. We already did something on the quarterbacks. I was at probably second worst quarterback season, if not the worst quarterback season, Boston Ryan, right?
I believe it was the second worst of all time.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's, you got 700 missed games, but, who missed the games and who was there and, what's their starting snap percentage and how important they are to the team. So check out the predictors for further analysis on this, but at least an initial, report to summarize, what happened during, weeks 1 through 18.
All right, guys, let's move on. Let's get to the Super Bowl, what we've all been waiting for. Let's start with Kansas City and their injury report going into this week. Tyler, break down some injuries for us for Kansas City.
Yeah, one of the biggest one is going to be Charles Omenihu. In the last game against the Ravens, tore his ACL. Now, that is big for Kansas City. He is a tough pass rusher, really puts some pressure on opposing quarterbacks. So that's a big hit to that defensive line. Now, he's not Chris Jones, right? That's obviously their big guy up there, but Charles Omenihu is a presence. And so not having him may give the 49ers offense a little bit more time to develop some plays. And then on the other side of the ball, Kansas City's offense, Joe Thuney, pec strain, he's in danger of missing this game. And they were talking a little bit about it being torn, maybe even more than, the micro tearing and things from a strain, that maybe there's a little bit bigger of a tear and that he may not make this game. So if they don't have him, then we know what happened when Kansas City played Tampa Bay back and Eric Fisher was out, right? So offensive line, if he's out, then they may have some trouble getting the run started or pass protecting Patrick Mahomes. So this could be interesting for the game.
Definitely, Doc. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Brandon and Tyler, pec injuries are still a bit of a conundrum on how to handle these, from a team physician, orthopedic surgeon standpoint. I got to tell you, this has been a little bit of a passion of mine. We've written a lot on it. We've published a lot in our sports journals, our surgery journals, injury journals on this, because exactly of this. If a guy like Thuney who had this kind of partial strain, well, what does that mean? Well, first of all, by definition, the pec is something an NFL player needs. Number one, they press, they're pushing, and especially a center, especially a lineman or a blocking tight end, anything is important for someone to have their pec in the NFL. It's almost an injury that requires attention, whether it's surgery or no surgery. It's important for them to do their job in the NFL. That being said, there are some strains out there. You got Watt, treated without surgery. You got others that have been able to treat without surgery in their pec and do okay. It really depends on where this is and where the tear is. If it's really mostly in the muscle or way deeper in the muscle or more closer to the midline of the body, they do much better. It can take a while to heal because you got to get that muscle to scar in. You got to get it to heal. If it's more of a muscle tendon tear or a tendon tear, I've always advocated kind of fixing these because, again, NFL players need this. It's an injury of necessity, and we try to fix this. Now, can you get through and fix it later? Absolutely. But you got to be a little bit careful with it. But these are things we tend to fix if there's deficits and if it's in the correct location for a repair that can help it.
Yep. So he's trending down for sure on that one. That's going to be a big loss for them. Kadarius Toney, the skill guy for them, that kind of is questionable due to his social media rant, hip injury. Is he hurt? We're not really sure. Guys, what are we going to do there? Should you just sit him and just get him out the locker room? What are you thinking?
I mean, with how he's been playing all season, he's probably better off on the bench for the Chiefs. The Chiefs, he's been dropping balls left and right, and I mean, if the Chiefs wanted to, I guess, fake an injury for him to get him out of the game, I mean, they gotta know something we don't, and
Yeah, there's something weird going on there.
something
Are
weird.
they going to get fined for this after all things are
They
done?
can
I mean,
definitely
Dude, he
I
came
find
out
it-
and said it was taken out of context. If you saw that after that
Yeah,
report,
well, he's trying to
Darius
save
Toney said it was
face at
taken
this
out of
point.
context.
He
Yeah,
wants that Super Bowl check, you know.
yeah, they
So-
don't. Yeah, they don't care. The player wants that Super Bowl check for sure.
This is the
Nice,
same.
yeah.
This
So you
is
can
the
see some
same
bang-ups
drama
on
he had at the
Kansas
Giants.
City. We get problems.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
same for sure. Same
thing,
drama.
same stuff.
So,
Yep.
all right, let's look at the 49ers real quick. We'll preview their injuries and we'll get into some of our bust data. First of all, we got George Kittle. He had a toe injury, in that game against the Lions, and he's been out of practice all week. I think he's going to play, but how effective will he be in that tight end position, guys? Tyler, go ahead.
Yeah, George Kittle, he's played through some stuff in the past. I know he's been out of practice. I think they're doing that out of necessity just to really get him as well as they can. There's no point. He knows the offense. He's been in this offense. It's not like he's new to it. He knows what to do. I'm sure he's out there watching and doing what he needs to do if they're adding anything in. So my guess is that they're keeping that out as a precaution, and that, like you said, I think he'll play, Brandon. And I think he'll be pretty effective. I think he'll do what he has to find the open space, make some key catches. Now, do I think he's going to go off for 150 yards? Probably not. But, they spread that ball around. So even if he's out there just to provide the option to Brock Purdy,
decoy.
that is something that Kansas City has to watch out for. And I think he'll be as effective as he needs to be.
Yeah. And the only other concern is Ambry Thomas. How do we say it, Tyler?
Yeah, I think Ambry Thomas.
All right. So, and the only other one we got is Ambry Thomas. He had a little ankle sprain against the Lions. He looks to be fine. He's been limited in practice, but I think he's going to perform okay. What do you think? Is that ankle going to inhibit him when he's on the field? I know he's not their top two, but
I would say
he'll be on the field.
this one's a little bit tougher. An ankle injury in a linebacker, cornerback. I mean, these guys need to be able to cut. They need to be able to pivot. They need to be able to be explosive. So this isn't, a toe injury hurts and in a certain position is tough. But an ankle injury, if that doesn't have the stability, then, I do think he may be a step behind, to be honest. And, hopefully they've had enough time, 2 weeks to get it right. They can tape it up, do what they have to. But that one worries me a little bit more than the George Kittle, to be honest.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's kind of the 49ers little injury wrap up. They seem pretty healthy. Boston Ryan, let's break down some bus information. Go ahead.
Yeah, heading into this game, the 49ers have the edge on the bus score. The overall team bus score for the Niners at 87.2, while the Kansas City Chiefs are sitting at nice 78.7. And positionally, the 49ers are healthier in every single position group except for tight end, which the Niners are at 80 with George Kittle's toe injury, and KC is sitting at 90. Travis Kelce, obviously, he's been going off, playing wicked good this offseason with Taylor Swift in attendance. And overall, throughout this entire season, the San Francisco 49ers have been a much healthier team than the Chiefs. They've ranged from 71 to 94, where the Chiefs have been from 67 to 90. So then the 49ers have been this healthiest team. They're healthier heading into this game. Doc, what are you thinking on them?
Yeah, give us your opinion.
Yeah,
on the
no,
bus.
Boston Ryan, this is a pretty substantial difference. It's not like, look at Kansas City, Baltimore. Kansas City game in the conference championship. Kansas City was a 75 on our scale. Baltimore 77. Better defensive lines. Some others for Kansas City, etc. So, the reality is that's kind of a toss-up statistically, couple points off. This one is almost 9-point difference, at least heading in a few days out. Now, the key is check the predictors. Right now, you got about a 9-point difference. This could change, especially with Kittle, Charles Omenihu, Thuney, everything else that's going on with these guys. So keep an eye on it. But this is significant. And I mean, I don't know. I don't want to spoil the picks, guys, but I got the 49ers.
Yeah. So
I'm following suit with that one. I mean, our bus score for the last 2 weeks of the playoffs has gone 4-2. Has successfully predicted 4 out of the games and only lost 2 of them, just looking strictly at the bus score, not factoring any performance.
And although we're strictly 4-2 on the bus, the 2 that were lost on were only a 1.5 or 2-point difference in bus score. So those are almost statistically not relevant. We need about 3, 4, 5 points, depending on the team, depending on the match, depending on where you're in the season, to really have that difference. So I'd probably argue we're almost 6-0. Take those 2 out, or 4-0 and 2 a wash, something like that, Tyler. I don't know. I just look at it. It's pretty darn good because guess what? Health matters at the end of the season here.
Tyler,
and if you really look into it, if you're looking into the positional groups, the teams that have a healthier O-line and D-line, those are the teams that are winning. Even if the overall bus score is a little bit lower than the other teams, if their O-line, D-line's better, most of the time they're going to be winning this game.
And guess what? You want another pearl. D-line versus O-line. D-line a little bit more important. Defense wins Super Bowl.
Tyler, where are you going? You going 49ers?
Yeah, well,
are you
guys,
going?
I don't know if you remember back a few podcasts ago, mid-season even, I said my favorite to win the Super Bowl was the 49ers. So I'm still going to go 49ers.
We'll pull the tape on that. Okay.
So you can pull a tape. There's something about the 49ers. They just seem stable with their performance every week. It's very stable. You know it's going to happen, but people can't stop it. Other teams, whereas teams like Miami and the Eagles, sometimes they seem a little bit streaky. So I'm all on board with the 49ers. I agree with Doc. I think they're the best team in the NFL right now. I do think that this game, though, is going to come down to Brock Purdy's performance. I love that the health is on the 49ers side. That's huge. We know that. I think the bus score has predicted 7 of the last 8 Super Bowls, which is crazy stat. But Brock Purdy needs to show up and perform. Patrick Mahomes is not going to go down easy. He never has. There's been a few games that they should have lost that he himself has pulled them out of the basement and come all the way back to win that game. He's been there before, so that's the other thing, right? That team, a lot of those guys on that team, even the injured ones like Thuney, they've been to the Super Bowl, right? So you're getting into that Patriots-esque type of thing where they've been there, they know how to perform there, versus a new team who's excited. They got media week, they got all this different things they got to deal with. But Patrick Mahomes and that team has a lot of distractions too. I don't know if you guys saw, but his dad has now been arrested for his 3rd DUI. So there's a lot of distractions outside there. So it'll be interesting, but that is a long way of saying, yes, I have the 49ers. I love that their health score is top. I think they have more talent.
And
Brandon, you going to the Chiefs, dude?
So when I was in the Super Bowl 13 with the 49ers, I worked with the linebackers a lot. And I think the linebackers for the 49ers this year are the difference makers. Warner and Greenlaw, them guys are just so physical. They're demanding their presence. They're going to be all over Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to be able to do his goofy plays and all that stuff. I think they're just going to be there overwhelming him. I think that's why the 49ers take it.
And if Purdy shows up, then it's a done deal. So you think even with Thomas's ankle, the linebacker's still going to be good?
Them 2 guys, Warner and Greenlaw, man.
Yeah, tape that up, get some good treatments this week, get all going, extra protein, ready to go.
I think it's going to be a fun one, though. I think it'll be close. But
it'll be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, and Tyler, what did you say? 7 and 8 Super Bowl picks for the last 8 years. 7 for 8 Super Bowl. The bus is taking it, guys. So there you have it. It's almost a 9 points right now. Now that's right now. We're going to keep watching this. That's why you get to stay tuned to Predictors.com, because we're going to update these scores for you, the Super Bowl, and track it and track the line, see if anything else happens. But my experience, Super Bowls and being in the locker room, getting the team ready, guess what? Everyone plays in the Super Bowl. Everyone plays. Right, Brandon?
Oh, yeah.
No one misses the show, man. No one misses it. I know Vegas, they were talking about just really rolling out the red carpet. Great. I think it's a great place. Goodell's already saying they want to come back. Talk about an incredible place to handle 300, 400,000 people for the Super Bowl. There's talk even putting it there every year, every other year now. I don't know. It's be amazing.
Here's my question: how many players get fined for gambling? that's the prediction to go after there.
That's why they didn't want it there a long time ago.
They got there today, so they got a week now to try to sneak into a casino somewhere, even though they're not
Yeah.
supposed to. So that's the one interesting thing to watch. Which team is going to be distracted by the environment?
The Vegas flu. They can't fall victim to the Vegas flu.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Well, everyone, that's a wrap. Super Bowl preview. What a great season, everyone. Health matters. It's been crazy on the health side this year. I mean, all the quarterbacks, all the stuff we broke down, the running back situation, O-line, D-lines. Health matters. We're proving it, and we'll be back with a wrap-up after the Super Bowl of the season. And thanks for tuning in. Check us out at thepredictors.com. Super important week, everyone. All right, everyone. Hey, welcome to a very special Predictors podcast. Here we go. It's Super Bowl week, and you know what? We got a special guest, none other than Josh Bridges. Josh, it's great to have you here, buddy. This guy's an American hero. He's a legend. He's an inspiration to all. He's going to tell us a little bit about what he's doing here in a sec, because you need to get with this guy and check him out and follow him and get on his program. It's absolutely amazing. But Josh and I go way back to our days in the military. We're both there. Josh, of course, much better genetics than myself, much stronger. His Navy SEAL, was at Team 3, mostly West Coast SEAL teams for about 8.5, 9 years of active service. Then got out and continued some very impressive pursuits in CrossFit, actually taking a second place. You were so close.
So close. So close.
That was
Almost made it.
What year was that, Josh?
So that was 2011. I took second. Had the knee surgery that you should have been doing, but had to have someone else.
I was deployed, man.
12, yeah.
My phone was ringing and it wasn't on.
Yeah. So then 12. Had my knee surgery after my last deployment to Afghanistan, and then.
Yeah, that was from a hard landing, or that was.
It was me and the dude kind of getting into it, messing around, and picked him up and slammed him on my own knee.
Yeah,
so that was a solid move.
Yeah, that was a good move on the mat.
Yeah.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But you took care of him, right? Did he submit after that? You didn't.
I think as my knee was pointing the wrong way, I was like, I think we should stop now.
That's probably a good call. Well, I mean, Tyler, you remember Josh, and we helped take care of him here in Vail, Colorado.
Absolutely.
And,
that was 19.
2018, 19 time frame, and helped nurse his knee back to life, and now crushing it, back on it. So, Josh, let's talk a little bit about what did you learn, kind of growing up, going through the teams, going through, the full resiliency package there to help get you back through these injuries and perform at the level you're performing now, which is honestly pretty dang legit.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. Going into the military was something I needed to do. I was definitely going down a path that would have led to nowhere pretty quick. I quit wrestling after college and was doing some weird jobs and just kind of going down a stupid path, not really taking care of myself, not eating healthy. I met a buddy who kind of told me about the military, and then hopped on.
And where were you then?
I was doing mortgages. I was a loan officer.
You're a loan officer.
Yeah.
Brutal.
In St. Louis. And
you're in Missouri, right?
Yeah.
And just kind of hanging out. What would you do at night and weekends? Screw around?
Yeah, just drink and be an idiot, and be a dummy. I was young. I was 20 years old, doing things that I thought, oh yeah, this is just what you do. You get a job, you pay your bills, and you have drinks at night, and then go home. But it was a bad path, and I got really thankful. I met a buddy who he actually told me about a couple important parts of my life, which obviously Navy SEALs, because in landlocked Missouri, SEALs weren't kind of as out there as they are now, where you knew what Marines were, you knew what Army Rangers were, but for me, I didn't. I had a little bit of aspiration.
Never really heard of the SEALs, or who they are, what they did.
No.
Not in the movies yet. No books, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
How was your swimming? Could you swim, or?
the first time I practiced my 500-meter swim at a YMCA, I thought I was going to drown. but I would go to the YMCA and I'd swim a mile pretty much like 2 or 3 times a week, and just started to feel a lot more comfortable. I wasn't uncomfortable, but I never had any sort of lessons to teach me how to swim.
Yeah.
I would, we'd go to the pool growing up, so I was comfortable in water. I wasn't scared, and I knew how to swim. I just was never like trained for like competition swimming or long distance swimming or anything like that. And so basically just had to teach myself, watching videos, instructional videos, getting some, some tips here and there. But made it. Was
a water cold when you got to Coronado and your first bite of SEAL training? Or
I tried to line it up to where I would have a summer buds class,
because I know how much you like the winters, right?
Yeah, right. Big winter guy here.
Yeah.
But the water, obviously was cold. I mean, the Pacific Ocean is never that warm.
Yeah,
I think you get like you probably got about 1 or 2 months a year. There are 1 or 2 months a year in Southern California where you actually have don't have to wear a wetsuit to get in the water.
Yeah.
So
and so you got the summer buds class.
Yeah, summer buds class.
No issue. Yeah.
Yeah. I think my whole week was in June, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something
June
like that.
gloom, perfect timing, but got through. But it's not November, December, January.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And then multiple deployments and
I did a few deployments to 2 to Iraq, 1 to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And then did a few years as an instructor doing close quarters combat, which was awesome. That was really fun. And then just I had an opportunity to go on and do CrossFit as a professional.
Yeah. So why did you transition to that? I mean, obviously you got the obstacle course, all these other things are pretty natural. You got some incredible, gyms down at the, training facility in Coronado where you were. I mean, all the Olympic lifts, the power lifts, the, whole body movements type thing. How'd you get into it?
So I got into it before I went in, right? So the guy who kind of told me about the Navy, he also told me about CrossFit. And he's like, this is how some of these SEALs, this is how some of these guys train.
Yeah.
And so fell in love with it immediately. We started going to a gym out there, or we'd go to University of Wash U's gym, and they had a pretty cool little Olympic weightlifting area set up, and would just do our workouts there, kind of take over the whole space and do our workouts there. And then we both joined together into the Navy. Time kind of happened in 11 where I was like, okay, I might be able to compete here.
Yeah.
It kind of lined up with my schedule. Yeah. And I had to ask my chief if I could take like 2 days off for one training evolution. And he said yes. So that was cool. And then, when it came time to re-enlist in 15, it was all right. At the time, now I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old boy. And I'm like, all right, do I want to continue to keep deploying, being away from them? And, or I have this opportunity where I can go try to be a CrossFit athlete, full time. Yeah. And so I decided to do that, go that route. And I'm very thankful that I did. I got to spend a lot more time with my kids than I would have if I would have stayed in. So,
well, you served your country, extremely admirably. I mean, you were at a time, Josh, when the op tempo was insane. I mean, you guys were in the thick of it. It was, post 9/11, even post, 2004 to 2011, those were really busy times for you guys and what you were doing in missions.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time. My first deployment, I was like so new, green. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was out there. I was like, all right. Luckily, I was with a lot of really smart and good dudes that they were good at what they did, and so that was awesome. And then 2010, it was a little bit slower for us where we were at. We were in Fallujah at the time, but in 2010, Fallujah was real slow. It wasn't like the 07, 08. But then when we got to Afghanistan in 12, that was, the op tempo definitely started to pick up again back there.
So you're a kid in St. Louis, eating a lot of crap food.
Pizza rolls.
You probably looked like a little bit of a pizza roll.
I did look like a pizza roll.
How did you? What did you learn from the teams? What did you learn from yourself on how to do CrossFit at the highest level? I mean, no one just kind of walks into this and finishes second in the world. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
You just really learn to turn your mind off. And a lot of times when things start to hurt, when things start to go wrong, when your body's telling you, your mind is more so telling you, hey, maybe you should back off a little bit. Maybe you should chill out for a second. And from the military, right? It's like there is no chill sometimes. Like you have to be able to carry your weight and somebody else's weight, no matter how bad you're hurting or how bad you're feeling, and basically just to shut those emotions off, shut those thoughts off. And, that was a huge part of it for the training, and not only during the training process of becoming a SEAL, but even once you become a SEAL, the training that you do as a SEAL to deploy, that's tougher than the actual training buds, like the selection process of it.
Yeah, getting ready for your missions, your specific stuff you all do.
Yeah.
I mean, again, don't know. I only know a little bit about it, enough to be dangerous, but it's really impressive what you go through, Josh. And so you're really talking about kind of this resiliency code, this resiliency brain training. Plus, you've got a body that's now getting pretty fine-tuned, fine-tuned through the teams, fine-tuned through deployments, but going through a lot, beat up and tough sleep cycles at times, your adrenal axis, but, getting that reset, back on the CrossFit. What did you learn? What did you learn from CrossFit and beyond? And how did that help you launch your business?
Yeah. I mean, I basically had a goal, and I decided that any distraction that took me away from my goal, anything that wasn't getting me towards my goal, closer to my goal, was a distraction that needed to be removed from my life. And so if I want to be the fittest person on earth, right, like, then you're not going to be able to go out and hang out with your friends sometimes on the weekends. And you're definitely not going to be able to drink very often. Yeah. And, you're going to have to train so many hours out a day, and then not only train, but then you have to recover, and then you have to eat right, or at least eat. Eat a lot. Yeah. And so,
how's your caloric consumption these days? I mean, you're out there in the gym.
Yeah. Now I'm still putting in a good amount. I'm trying to actually put on a little bit of size. I'm 40 now. I'm not training for anything, but I still want to look and feel good and be, capable of doing the things that I want to do, which, hike mountains, go snowboarding, play sports with my kids. So, I eat a ton of food now still. Because I'm training probably an hour to 2 hours. Probably more like 2 hours a day still.
So about 2 hours a day is what you put in.
Yeah.
And obviously you're putting some really cool stuff out there. What's your message to those listening? A guy like you that's got the pizza rolls and some other things and drinking on the weekends. And I mean, second in the world in CrossFit, highest of the highest, arguably the SEALs doing that at a very high level. And now you're showing us how to do it with your company, which I want to hear about. But what's your message?
For me, it's just, everyone says, you have these perceived notions of where you should be at in your life when you're at certain ages. And for me, it's like people are like, oh, why are you still sprinting? Why are you still lifting heavy weights? Why are you still doing this stuff? And it's like, because I'm only 40, But when I was 40, when I was a kid, you looked at a 40-year-old.
Did you hear that, Tyler?
Yeah, only 40.
When I was a kid, that's right. I'm 40, baby. I'm in my prime.
That's right.
You used to look at somebody when they're in their 40s and you'd be like, man, that dude's got one foot in the grave. And now I'm like, I'm good. I feel
What about
great.
53?
No, that's old. That's
Really
old.
good,
53 is
God.
old.
We're still going to put the podcast out. Don't worry about it.
No. But you don't have to listen to these preconceived notions of what you should be or shouldn't be at certain times in your life, and what you should or shouldn't be capable of, or should and should be doing. I'm going to ride this bus until the wheels fall off, and I'm going to push it to its limits. I've just found this. I feel better, to be honest, when I'm working out.
You feel better. You're doing it out of enjoyment. You do it because you're like, this is great. What give me a day in the life of Josh Bridges.
Day in the
Monday
life,
to Friday.
Not too bad. It's I wake up, I have breakfast with my kids, to get them to school, come back, have a little coffee, and then I go downstairs and start depending on what time of year it is, I'm either in the basement or in the garage.
You had some protein. You got a shake before. You got some pre-workout. What do we got?
I don't do pre-workout. I only do coffee.
Yeah.
My meals are ridiculous. I eat about.
Now, what coffee company are you working with? You got
Good Dudes Coffee.
Good Dudes Coffee.
Yeah.
That's what you have?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So that's good stuff. It's it's actually my company, and we sourced really good beans. We have a great roaster, and it's all online. GoodDudesCoffee.com. It's all single origin coffees.
Tastes good.
It's amazing. I'm a coffee nerd. I got into coffee in the military, and I don't
like we all do. Yeah, but it's very bad coffee there, dude. Right?
Oh, it
stains the mugs. Yeah,
dude, it's nasty.
It's so bad.
That's why I had to start carrying my own coffee with me.
I got in trouble one time because I washed one of my Navy Chiefs mug out because it was like we had all these things in the sink, and he come in and just berates me because I washed his mug out because he wanted the dark coffee stain ring around it. He said that took me years to do that. That's sort of anyway.
Pipe down, pal.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So Good Dude's Coffee. We can get it online now. We can order it. All good stuff. Gets you going in the morning. Nice.
Yeah, it's great. We got some light roast. We got some medium roast. We got a couple dark roasts. It's
cool.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's good coffee. So
where do you get the beans? Where are they from?
We got them from Ethiopia. We got a Panama. We have a Peruvian, Colombian, and 2 Ethiopians. So
wonderful.
Yeah. All single origin coffees.
All right, we're gonna check that out.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Everyone out there, check that out. It sounds pretty good. It gets Josh going in the morning. So then you do your workout hour or two, right?
Yeah, it's about a 2-hour workout downstairs.
In your house.
In my house, come up, have lunch. I eat a lot, so I eat about a pound of meat, ground beef typically for lunch, a sweet potato, maybe some fruit, and then depending on the day, if I have to go get the boys from school, and then it's become Uber dad, right? I'm driving them to practices or whatever else they need to be taken to. So and then dinner and go home.
Do you get tired at practice of people asking you for workout advice?
No, I don't actually. I love it. It motivates me because I love seeing people,
sideline dad. Hey, sideline dad.
I love it. People, I get it a lot, and I don't care at all. I love talking about, fitness. I love talking about getting people back on track, and giving them ideas, right? Like, cause you don't have to go and try to be the fittest person on earth. You don't have to go try to be a Navy SEAL, right? But you still want to be healthy. You want to look fit, good, be fit, and then be healthy. And that's the 3 goals right now for most people. So
it's good. And it sounds like you've kind of defined that post St. Louis pizza roll time that you
exactly.
Really, it's been you and you're about it, and it just makes you happy every day. And
definitely
can help all of us out, your messaging. So you got the coffee. Tell us about the workout company, the workout regime, and the workouts you're selling. Tyler, pay attention because I want you to get on this. All right.
Let's go, Tyler. So the one you need to get on, Tyler, is Operation LFG.
Okay.
It's
Operation LFG. There we go, Tyler.
And so that's got some. It's going to have some. It's more of
what's the company's name?
So it's just my name, josh-bridges.com.
Yeah.
And we're it's like my motto is kind of like pay the man kind of thing. And so we have a lot of these.
I got your T-shirt. I got the Pay Him T-shirt.
Come the Pay Him programs. My big program, why I started the company originally, was because you see so many capable men go into the military and have a dream of either being a SEAL, being a Ranger, being an SF cat, being, going to any of these spec op rates. And so many guys, the dropout rate in BUD/S is 80%. And so 8 out of 10 guys, and I truly believe the reason why 8 out of 10 dudes are dropping out is because they're not told how to train properly. They're told, oh, you need to focus on running and doing push-ups and pull-ups. And yes, you do a little bit, but that's not the only thing. You have to lift weights. You have to get strong. You have to carry boats and logs, and you have to carry your buddy, and you have to carry dive tanks. And if you don't do that to prepare, if you're not lifting weights and getting your legs strong, then you have to just rely on hope when you're asked to do it in your training. And so I saw this hole in these recruits coming into BUD/S who just weren't prepared, because I saw so many guys who you're like, yeah, this guy's going to be good. And then he would drop out.
Yeah.
Shin splints, leg splints, he just couldn't keep up. His legs got weak. His legs broke down on him, and his mind started to break down on him. So I wrote
that spiral. Yeah. And you want to prevent that. You want the injury prevention, mental prevention.
I'd love to know, Josh,
for sure.
You've been obviously a man of many talents, military, athlete, and then entrepreneur. I was just at a veteran fund summit. Doc's involved. They invest in veteran-owned companies. One of the big thing we talked about is mentally preparing for the challenges of entrepreneurship, especially after the military. And you've done all of that. What are your thoughts on the mental challenges and being ready to kind of how you prepare yourself for some of the challenges you go through every day, from when you're in the military to when you were an athlete in CrossFit and still are, to your just day-to-day entrepreneurship and business stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a struggle, because you want instant success, right? You want every day to be a great day. Like you do in the gym. You go to the gym, you want every day to be a personal record day, right? A PR day. And just understanding that every day is not going to be, and it's not a sprint in the entrepreneurial world. It's a marathon, and it's a long lasting one. And not everything you put out is going to be a hit. Not all the marketing you do is going to be correct, but it's kind of it can be a trial and error in some way, and understanding that, I'm okay. Just because maybe one day sales weren't what you thought they could be. Just understanding it's a long haul, and riding those ups and downs waves, and then really trying to figure out what works and why it worked, and then duplicating that over and over again.
Yeah, no, it's amazing what you've done, Josh. And you get done in the afternoon. What do you do at night? Yeah, what's your sleep routine? And we all know, let's talk about recovery. You got sleep.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So I hit the sauna every night for about 20 minutes. Pretty hot.
I see you got cold on the video and sauna. You do both?
I do both, but I do cold in the morning. You don't want to do cold after workouts, especially if you're trying to actually build muscle. If you're doing endurance racing, you can do some cold later after training, but you want to do the cold. I like to do the cold early on. It really helps set my mood, gets me into a good mood.
Gets you ready for the gym.
Gets my inflammation out of the joints in the morning. And then the sauna is nighttime. I sleep better when I sauna at night. So, have a little wind down time with the wife and kids. And then I'm in bed pretty early.
Yeah.
I'm in bed by like 10 o'clock latest. And I try to go to bed around the same time every night, you know, blackout shades, all the things, to getting away from your phone.
Use any modalities, E-stem or Normatec, those types of things, or not really anymore?
I have used them all in the past. And the Normatec was huge. E-stem, I was with a company called PowerDot that actually
you helped introduce me to that. In fact, as we worked on your quad after we did your surgery and your hammies with the PowerDot 2.0.
Yeah.
It's just come out with a 2.0. It's got the app, the plugin. Amazing device. Patients love it.
It's phenomenal. Yeah, and they actually they got bought by a bigger company, Theragun, and so
they're sucking up everything now.
Yeah, right.
You can go to one site to get it all, but no, that's it's a great product and one that you can use at home all the time.
Yeah, so. I still use that thing I don't use it as often. I used to use it every day.
Yeah.
Now I'm like once a week.
Yeah.
I kind of like, oh yeah, I have this to remember. I kind of remember as you're not competing anymore. It was just so much time consuming when you were competing. It was like all you did. Everything was recovery. If you weren't working out, it was recovering. So but now it's more. I like the sauna.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great research on the heat shock therapy and cold shock cold shock proteins, heat shock proteins. And just what it does for your mood. And I definitely always feel better when I'm sauning, and I sleep better. So yeah,
the sauna at night, amazing. Yeah. Well, Joe, what's next for Josh Bridges? What can you tell us about keeping the grind going?
Just grinding, just grinding on the programming. Trying to get the word out as much as possible. Getting it into the right hands for people who want to go into the military, want to go into law enforcement, and then anybody who just wants to look and feel good. Now, I have programs for everybody. So just grinding on that, and then get my boys, my 13 and my 11-year-old, prep for whatever they want to do.
Are they on the program? They buying in?
They are. We work out pretty often. They do a little bit more like sports specific type stuff, plyometrics, power, strength, things like that. Not so much CrossFit, but because they're playing baseball and football and basketball. So they're, if CrossFit becomes a part of their journey where they decide they want to go compete in CrossFit, we'll go down that road.
Yeah. You've been there. You can help. You know a thing or two about it to help them out.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, it's a great pleasure. It's a great pleasure to see you, host you here in Vail, Colorado. And again, everyone, check it out. Josh-Bridges.com, joshbridges.com. Dude, you got a great little site here. You join today. You can download a free week of your program, and you got training, mental prep, physical prep, mobility, engagement. You got support. You can support and answer those questions like the other dads on the sideline asking you. But it's cool. You got some really cool monthly programs: military athlete, PAM, tactical athlete performance, annual programs, on off. Anyway,
a lot of good programs on there.
Yeah, it's inspiring. Check it out, Josh. Great pleasure. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me on. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Tyler.